Well, the newest Hell album, Submersus, released recently, July 10th, and it's not what I expected.
Oh, hi there. My name's Jorge. I grew up in the 80s and I used to love getting into trouble. I have always been a friend of felines. I take my faith very seriously, attending school at a Christian college, and I've been a music fan my entire life, only recently finding out that I really like extreme metal, and I want to invite you to journey with me on my discovery of extreme metal.
What is up, folks? Welcome back to A Christian Collects Death Metal. It's your pal Jorge here, back at you with another video. Thanks for stopping by. Once again, welcome back. My friends, today we will be discussing the newest offering from Hell, Submersus, released through MSW's own label, Lower Your Head Productions, in collaboration with Sentient Ruin. We got a lot to get through. Like I said in the beginning, it's different. It's not what I expected. We're going to talk all about that. Let's go. Guys, when I say that Hell is one of my favorite artist projects, I absolutely mean it. I have all of the releases, different formats, different variants in each. And I'm not saying that to sort of qualify myself as some authority on the matter. I'm most definitely not. At the end of the day, I'm just another Joe Schmo. But this is a project that means a lot to me. I get a lot from it. So when MSW first announced a while back that he was working on new material, I was sort of floored. My expectations for this newest album were so high because the most recent thing that he released was Hell self-titled in 2017, I believe. And this, in my opinion, is the apex of Hell. This is like Hell's final form. How could you evolve beyond this right here? And in fact, to date, in my opinion, this is the most accessible album. And just because someone says an album's accessible, that's not a bad thing. Every track on here is an absolute rager. I mean, from start to finish, and so, how can you do greater than this? But I thought if anyone could do it, it's got to be him, right? So there was hope that, this album was going to absolutely floor me, and what I got was not what I expected. I've already said that, but here's why. And don't be deceived. This is not a bad review by any stretch of the imagination. Submersus, even though it's not what I was anticipating, it absolutely floored me. It is so much more than what my small reptile brain could have conceived. It is far surpassed my expectations. But it is most certainly different from the other releases. This is 41 minutes of black funeral sludge, and in fact, you could almost drop blackened. Well, not really, because it's still there, but one of my biggest expectations for this record was for more raging black metal dive sections, right? Where all of a sudden we just get hit with all of these blast beats and tremolo and just black metal madness, right? Akin to what we've heard in Hell 2, Hell 3, and also the self-titled album. But you don't get that here. This is different. Submersus is a slow, lumbering, heavy, suffocating listen. Super atmospheric. It just evokes so much dread and helplessness, hopelessness. It is like you're in an under-earthen maze that is on fire, and this smoky fog is just following you, enveloping you, and no matter which way you turn, you're just slowly engulfed, in this smog. That's what it feels like. We got 5 tracks. Now, he first released the single, which is the opening track, Heavy, and that is the most rager on the whole album, as far as, you know, a part or a section of the track where it just goes completely bananas and off the rail. You get a little bit of that on the back half of Heavy. It is, yeah, it very much, dude, when that track released, my gosh, I loved it so much. I listened to it. By the way, let me just say this, that I have ordered the physical release, so usually I hold up the physical release. There's some issues with the vinyl. There's also issues with the cassettes and CDs. So Sentient Ruin has been posting online about it, MSW himself. They'll be here eventually, but I'll throw up a screen grab of my receipt, just, you know, to let you know I'm not a poser or anything. But yeah, Heavy is a great opening track, and it actually features guest vocals from MSW's good friend Taz, who together, the two of them, have a side project called Asphalt. This is their split with Defiant Body. Taz's vocals, man, he done a lot of vocals on Hell 2, and he is just a force to be reckoned with. Coming in with track 2, we have Gravis. Is that how you say it? Yeah, Gravis. It is a slow... yeah, it's sludge. I mean, how other way can I explain it? It's super heavy. In fact, if there's one song in the entire Hell discography that I could describe the whole album of Submersus, it would be the track Newman off of the Primitive Man split. It was also released as part of the Splits compilation through Gilead Media. Yeah, track number 5, Newman. I have always thought of that song as the heaviest song that MSW has ever done with the Hell Project. And yeah, Submersus feels sort of like that song. Maybe I should say that song feels like it could have fit on Submersus. Toward the end of it, I guess the back half of the song, he does these vocals that are like angelic in nature, is the only way I can explain it, where it's like, ah, you know, something like that, and it adds something super eerie and haunting and yet weirdly beautiful to this track. It's a great juxtaposition there, and I really appreciate that. Track number 3 is Factum. This is the shortest track of all of them, and it's, you know, there is drone in all of Hell's work, right? So there's drone sections on this album. This specific song, yeah, it features some drone, but it's sort of like mixed in. It starts out with some guitar that it just... MSW is a master of creating just the perfect tone for this body of work, and maybe arguably the greatest tone, you know, in extreme metal. It reminded me of parts in Victus off of Self-Titled, and maybe parts off of like Hell 3, and it is such a pleasure to listen to, and it's like the halfway point in the album. So, you know, there's almost like this sense of like hope, because this is such a dreary, unnerving listen, that when this comes in, it's like almost like a bit of relief, right? And then some drone work comes in, and that really finishes out this track. Track number 4, and probably my favorite, is Mortem. Wow, this song is the true spiritual successor to Newman. It is so... These instruments they are so heavy, it feels like they're just being played into the ground. My God, the bass alone, the guitar, the drums, everything, it feels like your brain is rattling around. The cover art looks like a tornado or like a funnel, and it just feels like you're being whipped around. And I mean, just this heaviness, and like There's no coming up out of it. The final track, track number 5, is Bog, and this is the second single that he released. This I really enjoyed because it's equal parts drone and equal parts instrumentation, what have you. I never know the right way to explain stuff. But yeah, the drone comes in and there's just this slow build, this slow build up until the song finally comes in, dude, and it starts with the drums, the guitar, and the bass, those Black Wraith vocals, but the way that it creeps up on you, it feels like a Nephilim giant just like slowly coming up behind you, and then, you know, just picking you up, and there's just nothing you could do at this point. It just, the song just comes up on you, and it is incredibly menacing. It is so haunting, you know. It's like, and this is the album closer, and it just feels like, you know, if there was some shred of, you know, hope or uplifting, you know, on song 3, was that Factum? Yeah, that's dashed. You know, any hopes of positivity or whatever, they are dashed by Bog, and you're reminded that, yep, we're just back down here in this muck and in this mire. It is an incredible listen. In fact, it's probably my second favorite track. The album is absolutely incredible. You know, it surprised me. Yeah, like I said, maybe I didn't anticipate what we got, but what we got was so much more, and I'm so happy and shocked and surprised by what we did get. Guys, there you have it. Let me know in the comments below exactly what you think. Are you familiar with Hell? Have you heard any of the stuff? Have you heard the new album? Let me know in the comments below. I'll leave links to everything in the description as well. Jorge, a Christian who collects death metal, signing off. Be blessed.